I want to know why the name Typhoid Mary. Where did that drag name come from?
When I was coming up with names, I wanted it to sort of not only reflect my culinary background, but my like nerdy background, and I wanted to make sure that I had a name that no one else had.
Sure. Explain your culinary background and your nerdy background a little bit.
God. So I did go to culinary school. My family owned a diner for years. And my nerdy background is my immediate family owns a comic book store.
Oh, really? Want to give us what comic book store it is?
Zombie Planet.
Zombie Planet, one of the local faves.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that probably had a lot of influence on that as well. That's so cool. So what brought you into drag? Like, what made drag an attractive performance art for you?
For me, it was more about creating this like persona and like almost like this hyper extension of like these personality traits that I wouldn't really be all the time as like Theo, like the artist. So it sort of just became like, yeah, like a hyper extension of who I wanted to be.
And who would you want to be? Like, what is, when you say hyperextension, what are these traits entail? Like, what traits are you like really blowing up?
Like you wouldn't believe it, but I am an introvert. So creating this very like extroverted, like alternative, very just like goth grunge, angsty teenage girl.
I love that. You're like, that's a piece of me that needs to be released.
Exactly.
Yes. So what was your inspiration? So you said a little bit of grunge, a little bit of like pop, but what are your inspirations for your performances and your costumes? I
do pull from a lot of like late 90s, early 2000s, like alternative goth fashion. That is definitely something that like I was like surrounded by a lot growing up, and I just like always loved it, but like never really was able to just like be that. By creating this like hyper personified extension of myself, like this drag persona, I was able to wear the things that I wanted to and sort of create the things that I wanted to.
So you're really able to express yourself in a way you wouldn't be able to outside of drag, it seems like.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
And how does that feel?
It's very liberating. It's very freeing.
Imagine like how liberating.
Yeah, it's sort of like taking like there's like this little like box inside of you like that you kept inside, and just like you're growing up and you're forgetting about the box, and then finally one day you're just like, there's that box. Yeah. Let me just open that wide open.
Yeah, just like let it go loose.
Just let it go
loose. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in particular, like musician-wise? I know you said. I believe you said maybe something of influence within TV, but what are these TV shows and like other, like what's some direct like TV shows and things that, yes, I want to hear some of those direct influences.
I grew up watching a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Xena Warrior Princess, like very strong female leads, always watching, always eating up, like they were like the icons for me.
Oh my God, it's beautiful. And any like comic books or anything like that, or any music?
Oh, music-wise, Evanescence, Avril Lavigne. Classics, just the classics. More like recently, Billie Eilish. She is a big one for me. Like I love performing her, and her songs are just absolutely phenomenal.
Is there any reason why Billie Eilish is a hit for you that's different?
I think it definitely is the aesthetic and like the songs that she writes. Like they really do speak to that angsty teenage girl.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's
in here.
Billie Eilish, all right. So I know you do a lot of events around the community, a lot of drag events around the community. I've been to several of those events. They're always packed. There's always a lot of support for them, and you just feel this life and this safe space, and you just feel really comfortable in these spaces that you curate. And I want to hear from your perspective, why do you think this is beneficial and valuable for the LGBTQ plus community and the drag community locally?
So essentially, I started producing my own shows because I wanted to create that, like you just said, that fun and that safe environment. Because I had when I first started, there weren't too many places that felt that way.
Yes.
It was very hard to not only, one, get into the drag scene, but then on top of it, be in a space where I felt like I was having fun at like the expense of like my safety, or I was safe, but I wasn't having fun. So I believe that the two of those mutually go hand in hand.
True.
So as I started to get a little more seasoned with drag, it became something that I wanted to do, and I wanted to make a space for my community. And like you've said, I feel like I've definitely accomplished that.
You have, you really have. And have you got any feedback from the community, how they feel about this, since your shows are really packed and really supported by the community? Have you heard any type of feedback or anything, or how folks feel?
I always hear that my shows are memorable.
Yes, yes they are.
And not only are they memorable, but I sort of shatter the expectations that people have going into a drag show.
Which are?
A lot of people's first exposure to drag is what you see on TV. And that is okay, and that's fine, and that's fun, but that's not always what drag is. Like, look at this. This isn't maybe something you wouldn't see on TV. I'm bearded. I'm a little more alternative. So by having people's expectations sort of blown away by what I can offer, by having not only a diverse group of drag performers, but just having a very fun show.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
Inclusiveness is important too.
Oh, 100%.
Because you do have performers that are very inclusive. Like, I haven't even seen drag performers like how I see at your shows on TV.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, it's a very inclusive,
Oh, yeah.
accepting, safe space.
It's definitely what I'm aiming to do with my shows.
Yes. So what would you say would be the most fulfilling part about drag and the toughest parts?
I would say some of the more like frustrating aspects of drag are, like with any creative field, is dealing with other people's egos. Definitely tends to be with one. But that is something that can be so nipped in the butt as soon as you just talk to someone, show a little kindness. I guess for me personally, it's always challenging myself to sort of be better than the last time, or sort of like have, like feeling like I've grown since the last time I've gotten into Face or the last time that I've performed. So that's my own personal frustration.
What about the most fulfilling part of it? Like, what brings joy to you with this craft?
My favorite part, especially as someone who is like a little more alternative and doesn't really perform everything you hear on the radio, is finding someone in the crowd who's connecting with you as you're performing. And just like, it very much feels like in this moment, it's just you and them, like you're lip syncing and you're performing, and they're just like in absolute awe of what you're doing. And you're just like, it's like this very special bond from like performer to like audience member. And then to have them like come up to you afterwards and be like, that was amazing. I've never seen anyone perform that song. It's my favorite song. Like all this other stuff. It tends to happen a lot when when Evanescence shows up.
Always. I will say 90s kids, we love our Evanescence, even though we only know that one song.
Oh, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. They're like, oh my God, I would have never imagined seeing a drag artist perform Bring Me to Life. And I'm just like, I got you.
Thank you. Well, that's amazing. That's a very fulfilling way to enjoy your craft. Do you have any advice for any folks who want to break into drag queening and kinging, like just in the drag world in general?
My advice is always to be kind. Like, you can create this persona that's like all like full of attitude and cattiness and whatever, but at the end of the day, kindness will get you farther.
Yes.
And that is something that I've always held close to myself and to my persona, and it's always been a standard of just being nice to everyone, because also you don't know what someone's going through.
That's very true. That's very true. Well, thank you, Typhoid Mary, and thank you for talking to us today and being on AHA.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.